Hello and welcome to Swell Season Surf Radio. I am your co-host, Tyler Brewer, and this is our art and design series with Chris and Chris. I'm here with Christopher Coffin and Christopher Labza, and we have a very special show. Our guest is California-born and bred Kassia Meador. She began surfing at the age of 14, and by 17 years old, Kassia was a sponsored pro longboarder traveling the world. Known for her graceful surf style, Kassia was crowned the Queen of Nose Riding by New York Times in 2011 and ranked second on the WSL's Women's Longboard World Tour. Throughout her career as a competitive sponsored athlete, Kassia was actively involved in designing products under the umbrella of her sponsors. And in 2013, she left her sponsored surfing brand to build her own brand that focused on quality instead of quantity, working towards more conscious solutions rather than contributing to the larger global issues. And in 2015, she launched Kassia Surf, a brand for women by women with design rooted in authenticity gained through 23 years of experience. And since launching Kassia Surf, she has pushed the limits of women's surf culture, lifestyle, and design, with a mission to create the most functional wetsuits, accessories, and lifestyle gear in the highest vibe, lowest impact way. Kassia Surf is about supporting you and exploring this beautiful external world and expanding your magnificent, unique internal world. So there we go. So how's that for like a little intro there? That's a good overview of our guests tonight, guys. Really excited. I don't know if you know, but we did have Kassia on once before last year when she came through in the vans, but it was a really awkward interview. Not for her, but it was just, the setting was weird. It was in Rockaway and we were in this little hut and it was with Alex Nose and all these other surfers and groupies and other people. And it was super weird. And it was me, Ben, and Alex from the Bodega Border Crew podcast as well. And I don't know, it was a very difficult situation, but she was like so awesome and spoke so well. And I was like, shit, we should just focus on her. So I'm really excited that we got her on again. And, yeah. So what was the motivation bringing her on for this art and design? I mean, we've read here, like she does a lot of interesting design in terms of surf gear, but I know she does other things too. Can you fill me in a little bit and fill our listeners in?
Well, Kassia has done a lot of different things, but obviously her surfing is amazing. We all love watching how graceful she is on a wave, but then she also dabbled in photography for a while, design through Roxy and a couple of other brands. Then she branched off into her own kind of realm. So I wanted to just kind of pick her brain to see how she navigated the surf industry and this, making wetsuits and things like that as a woman in like a male dominated scene where, a lot of the people I talk to have a hard time finding a wetsuit that fits correctly and, kind of branching out, just going for the female demographic completely. Like that's such a cool thing to be doing. I think it's needed, quite frankly. So I wanted to see what she was up to, what she's doing. I know she also has a couple of retreats and things that she does. She does a lot of yoga retreats and kind of gives back to the community as much as she can. So I was like, let's kind of see what she's up to. It's been a while since I've talked to her. So
nice. I'm really excited.
I was kind of interested in hearing a little bit about her Keep Abreast Foundation. After doing a little bit of research on her and finding out how committed she was to, different initiatives that related to breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. And, it kind of struck a chord with me. My mother had breast cancer and she's a breast cancer survivor. And like anything that anyone's doing in a positive nature to kind of like bring about that type of awareness is interesting to me. And that has nothing to do with surfing. That's just, it speaks to who the person is,
Absolutely. But, that organization also works through a lot of board riding initiatives. And, and it's, I know I've met the founder, Shani Joe, and my friend Laura Rubin has done a lot of work for them and, and everything in the past. And I've done a few events actually working with them. And it's just, and Kassia has always been like on board and always supporting and always, really pushing good things. And one of the things I'm excited to talk to her about is, she's kind of basically turned her back on the surf industry to some extent. Like she's not supported really by the industry per se. Like Roxy is not her main sponsor anymore. She's self-funded through her own initiative. So I'm pretty pumped to be discussing that. But before we bring her on, which she should be on very shortly, what are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking right now Austin East Cider. It's the Rosé.
Ooh, Rosé all the way.
Rosé all day.
Rosé all day. Hey.
I went to try this one out.
I'm actually enjoying the original dry cider.
OG.
The original. Yeah, the OG. But I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I do love the blood orange and I do love the pineapple. And I experimented by throwing a shot of silver tequila into the pineapple.
It's very nice.
It was a little silly. It was a little silly.
I've been doing Kraken dark rum with the pineapple, and it's scrumptious.
Dude, I thought you said crack and dark rum. I was like,
Kraken. Release the Kraken. Kraken dark rum. It's delicious. But I'm just drinking pineapple right now because I don't want to get too loose for this. So, well, let's dive into our interview with Kassia Meador.
She's here. I'm going to let her in.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey.
Yeah, I have big headphones too.
That's what the pros use, right? And it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. And I like to keep it classic. I'm like not down with the little earbuds that have Bluetooth.
Earbuds are for work. These are for play.
Yeah, they're cool. These things are like old. My hair is probably covering them, but I like it. What's up, you guys? How are you?
Well,
we're great.
Things are good.
Awesome.
Things are interesting.
Things are interesting.
Well,
yeah. What isn't it like a Chinese or Japanese proverb that's like, may you live in interesting times?
I've had a thought on that over the last year. That person clearly did not live in interesting times.
Totally. Well, I think it was like an auspicious comment more so than like not auspicious, but like kind of like, it was kind of like a heavy thing, it was like more something mean to say to somebody than anything.
Not to dive into it too quickly, but I loved your most recent Instagram post, just kind of confronting a lot of the things that are going on today. And just wanted to say how much I appreciated it.
Right on. Thank you. Yeah. Are we recording already? Is this we're into it or we're just
we're into it?
We've been recording for
we can avoid that sort of stuff if you want. It's all good.
No, it's all good. Yeah. No, I was angry and I was also just frustrated. So I had to say something, and then I kind of like just like so many people were like being with each other, and it was like there's enough kind of anger in the world, and as much as we're frustrated, how can we have like more compassion for one and not like, it's like the eye for an eye makes a line. So it's like, how can we actually communicate positive ways? And I also think there's like a bunch of weird paid Instagram trolls that are just like on there to like badger stuff. Because I'm like, who are these people with no furs and who knows like who they even are?
Right.
So that said, I think there's just so much interesting stuff happening in the world. And it's like, I think a fine line between being vocal and also being compassionate and supportive, because more than anything, people's nervous systems, their whole belief systems have been totally shattered in so many ways. So, it's a dance.
It's interesting. I don't remember a time when surfing and surf culture has been so politicized either. It's been interesting to see all the interactions on social media, and you see people, no judgment here. I'm not passing judgment on people. You just see people and you're like, oh, that's what they think. Okay, that's who they are. Like, wow, that's interesting. And I've never, I know surfing has always been political in many ways. We've always used surfing in politics, or to from everything from beach access to environment, but anti-war movement. But it definitely feels like I've never seen it so triggered, I guess, or so fraught, to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's been really hard just to kind of like, I know for me, like I've been that person who's outspoken, and I've been that person who's graceful, and it's like you try on a different persona for the moment, and I just don't know which one I want to be right now. It's hard. It's hard. You want to be graceful, you want to be vocal, you want to be mindful, you want to be enlightened, you want to empower, and it's just like I just don't want to take in negative energy, so it's tough.
Is it difficult as a public figure in surfing, having certain views and posting stuff on social media? I mean, do you really give a lot of thought when you post something like that?
So just kind of wanting to honor what Chris just expressed, how important it is to kind of like just be where you're at, and like, okay, well, I've been the vocal person. I've also been graceful and kind of sat back more. So I've had all these different kind of moments. And I think for me, the posts that I find maybe, or the times that I find it maybe most empowered is from a time that I like take a breath and am really kind of conscious with how I speak, and also coming from a place of total love and compassion for everything that's happening, and also noticing the ways that you can communicate things in clear ways that are also like inviting and holding space. And also the other day I was totally pissed off and I just went off. Like I didn't take a breath, and it was like that energy that I put out into it. Yeah. And also that was kind of like my raw human element coming out. And also like what was happening was this kind of like raw, guttural, like primal thing that we're all witnessing. Right. I feel personally. So it definitely triggered that element in me. And more often than not, if I'm really triggered by something, I pause, I kind of like center myself and communicate in a way and take the time to, in a way that I think will be supportive. Because it's kind of like adding more on top of everything. There's just so much right now. I mean, people's nervous systems have already been so blown out just with everything that's going on this year. And then it's like the minute 2021, people are like, yeah, new year, all this stuff.
Fresh start.
Like, what?
No, it's just a day later. We're still all messed up.
yeah, totally. No, and you it crazier. Here we go. Mm-hmm. And so I also think it's like, okay, not been through this year that's been so unprecedented. We also have maybe some of the tools, like people have been going to times of like meditation and more into times of listening and more into times of kind of, so it's like also, I think there's kind of, it's like sharpening our knives, sharpening the tools